Howdy, folks. I'm Fair and Wise. Thanks for joining Consuelo and Ethan on today's episode. We're pretty sure you'll find it interesting. While you're watching, please take a moment to like our video and make a comment. Also, if you're not already, please subscribe to our channel and click the notifications bell to make sure you're informed when we release each new episode. Now, let's get on with today's program.
All right, let's dive into another deep dive, and today you have a real head-scratcher.
Oh yeah, this one is a doozy.
Yeah, we're talking about the past and future box word search from There's Treasure in Time, which has become, well, kind of notorious, I guess you could say, among treasure hunters for sparking some pretty heated debates.
It's a good one.
It seems simple enough when you first look at it, right?
Yeah, totally.
Just a 2015 grid in Chapter 26. Simple words like Satoshi and Pac-Man. But as I'm sure many of you listening have discovered, there's a lot more to it than meets the eye.
Layers.
Yeah, tons of layers.
Yeah.
Potential ciphers and anagrams and even geographic clues. So today we're going to try to unpack some of the most popular listener theories that we've gotten.
Okay.
And we're going to try to make sense of this word search.
Great.
With the help of cryptography expert, Dr. Henry Faulkner.
I'm excited to be here.
Welcome. It's great to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
So before we jump into these theories, let's just recap what we know.
Okay, sounds good.
About this word search.
Sure.
I mean, first we've got the grid itself.
Yeah.
Right? And then there's that secret message that's revealed.
Yeah.
And you anagram all the leftover letters.
Exactly. And that message reads, there are 5 clues in this word search.
Okay.
Not tell anyone. There are no special bends or turns. Just remain steady to complete the mission.
Ooh, cryptic.
Very cryptic.
And as many listeners have pointed out, even the message itself is open to interpretation.
Right.
So, like, take the phrase, for example, remain steady.
Right.
Some people think that's a very literal instruction, like for a physical path.
Yeah.
But other listeners think that it's more, metaphorical.
Right.
Like it's urging a consistent approach to the puzzle.
Exactly. Consistency is key.
Right. So we've gotten a ton of theories from listeners, each with different takes on how to approach this puzzle.
That's great.
So why don't we start with Lucas from Portland?
Okay, Lucas.
And his steady path theory.
Okay.
So Lucas, you argue that the solution lies in like a direct path through the words in the grid, leading to that phrase, follow map points.
Right. Seems pretty straightforward.
So what makes you so confident in this very straightforward approach?
Well, Lucas believes that Collins Black intentionally included that phrase, follow map points, as a clear signpost.
Okay.
And that overanalyzing everything else could lead us down the wrong path.
Okay, so just follow the instructions, basically.
That's Lucas's thinking.
That's Lucas's thinking. Interesting. But then we have Sophia from Charleston.
Sophia? Okay.
Advocating for some caution.
Oh, good.
With her red herring argument.
Red herring argument. All right.
Sophia, you're concerned about the sheer volume of, possible solutions, right?
Yeah, there are a lot of possibilities.
Suggesting that maybe some of these clues are, intentional distractions.
Oh, absolutely.
What makes you so wary of these, seemingly cryptic elements?
I think Sophia's right to be wary because there are a lot of state abbreviations and cryptograms and other elements that could be interpreted in a bunch of different ways.
Yeah.
I think she believes Collins Black might be testing our ability to, figure out what's real and what's not.
Yeah, what's a genuine clue?
Exact.
Versus what's just, noise.
Misleading us, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so how do we even begin to filter that signal from the noise?
That's the question.
Right, that's where Nathan from Chicago comes in.
Okay, Nathan.
With his layered cipher theory.
The layered cipher theory, all right.
Nathan, you think that the word search itself is like a key.
Oh, interesting.
To deciphering something else in the book?
Okay.
Can you kind of elaborate on that a little more?
Sure. So Nathan's convinced that the word search isn't the end goal here. It's just a tool. And he suggests that maybe those leftover letters or the state abbreviations or even the Pac-Man paths could unlock a hidden message or a whole other puzzle.
Oh, wow.
Somewhere else in the book.
Oh, within, there's treasure inside.
Yeah.
Okay, so think outside the word search.
Think bigger. Yeah.
Okay, that's a compelling idea.
It is.
It's making us look beyond the obvious.
Absolutely.
Okay, and finally we have Emily from Santa Fe with her roadmap hypothesis.
Okay, the roadmap hypothesis.
So, Emily, you believe that the word search isn't just a puzzle, it's a set of directions.
Wow, like a map.
Yeah, like a literal set of travel directions.
Okay.
Can you walk us through your reasoning?
Well, Emily's theory comes from the fact that Collins Black confirmed all the chests are on public land,
Right.
within 3 miles of roads.
Yeah.
So she thinks that the state abbreviations, combined with the phrase follow map points, could be directions along a specific route across different states.
Okay, so 4 very different approaches.
4 very different approaches, yeah.
All coming from the same word search.
It's amazing.
To help us make sense of all this, all these theories and the puzzle itself.
Okay.
We're joined by Dr. Henry Faulkner.
Hello.
He's a cryptography historian and a puzzle consultant.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Welcome, Dr. Faulkner. It's so great to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
The past and future box word search, I mean, it's a fascinating case study.
Oh, it really is.
In puzzle design.
Yeah.
And how it can really kind of tap into, well, our cognitive biases.
For sure, yeah.
Speaking of biases, you've mentioned the idea of apophenia before.
Yeah.
Can you maybe just remind our listeners what that is and how it might be at play here?
Sure. Apophenia is basically our tendency as humans to see patterns in random information, like seeing faces in the clouds.
Right.
Or hearing, secret messages and songs played backwards.
Yeah.
And when it comes to puzzles like this, apophenia can lead us down some pretty deep rabbit holes.
Okay.
Making connections that aren't actually there.
So we could be seeing clues that aren't actually clues.
Exactly, yeah.
That's kind of scary.
It is a little bit, and that's why it's so important to approach this word search with both an open mind, but also a healthy dose of skepticism.
Okay.
Consider everything, but test your theories against the evidence.
Okay, great advice. Now, why don't we dive into some of the specifics of this puzzle?
Okay, sounds good.
Starting with those state abbreviations, TM, NC, SC, MA, CA, NV.
Right.
I mean, they're not just randomly scattered, are they?
No, I don't think so. Their placement seems to mirror real-world geography to a certain extent.
Okay.
Like Tennessee, TN, appears to the west of NC and SC in the grid, just like it is on a map.
Right, just like it is on a real map.
Exactly. And CA and NV, they're near references to Lake Tahoe, hinting at a possible connection there.
Okay, so are we looking at a map overlay?
Possibly.
Are these abbreviations like pinpointing specific locations?
Maybe, especially when we think about that statement that Collins Black made about the treasure chests being on public land within 3 miles of roads.
Right.
It's possible.
Okay, but then as Sophia pointed out, there's also that chance that some of them are red herrings.
Right.
So how do we tell the difference?
That's a great question. How do we differentiate between a real geographic clue and a distraction?
Yeah, how do we know what's real?
Well, we need to analyze the context, look for supporting evidence, and consider how those abbreviations might tie into other elements of the puzzle.
Right.
Or the book itself.
Okay, so we've got these potential geographic anchors.
Yeah.
But then we also have that threat of being totally misled.
Right. It's a tricky one.
This is a tricky word search.
It is.
And we're just getting started.
We are just getting started.
This is going to be fun.
I know. I'm excited. Yeah, there's so much more to uncover. Why don't we move beyond the state abbreviations for now?
Okay.
And explore some of these other layers of this puzzle.
Okay.
We've got those binary clues.
Right.
Pac-Man paths, and even a substitution cipher to unravel.
Where do we even begin?
Well, good question.
There's so much there.
There is a lot, yeah.
Maybe with those binary clues.
Okay, the binary clues.
There are 19 unused I and O letters in the grid.
19, huh?
19.
Wow.
That seems a little too specific to just be random.
That's a lot, yeah. I think you're onto something there. Collins Black, he's known for weaving technology and coding into his puzzles.
Yeah.
So it's very possible that those I and O represent ones and zeros.
Binary code.
Binary code, exactly. The challenge, of course, is figuring out what message is encoded within that sequence.
Right.
Yeah.
Some listeners have suggested maybe coordinates.
Coordinates, okay.
Maybe a website address.
Oh, interesting.
Or even like a passphrase for another part of the puzzle.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's fascinating.
It is really cool.
But it's also a little daunting.
It is a bit daunting, yeah, because where do you even begin?
I know, where do you begin?
Right.
And then there's the whole Pac-Man paths thing.
Oh, yeah, the Pac-Man paths.
The chapter itself has multiple references to Pac-Man.
Right, it does.
Which has led some treasure hunters to actually trace these maze-like routes across the grid.
Oh, wow.
Like they're using the game as inspiration.
Like a literal maze.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
So are they looking for, like, specific patterns?
Yeah, what are they looking for?
Or sequences of letters?
Yeah, I think that's what they're doing.
Within those paths?
Yeah. Some believe those paths could reveal, hidden coordinates.
Oh, coordinates again.
Or maybe a message spelled out by the squares they touch.
Wow. We also have that substitution cipher adjacent to the word search.
Right.
Which adds, like, a whole other layer.
Another layer? Oh, my goodness.
I know.
This is getting intense.
It's getting really complex. But that cipher has been solved.
It
right?
has, yeah.
It reveals the phrase basic cipher plays.
Basic cipher plays. Okay. What do you make of that, Dr. Faulkner?
Is Collins Black hinting at something?
Well, basic cipher plays could be a nod to the encoding methods he's used within the word search itself.
Okay.
Almost like he's, challenging us to decipher his game,
Mm-hmm.
reminding us that things might not be as simple as they seem.
Right, things are not what they seem. So we're dealing with multiple ciphers,
Yeah.
hidden messages, and maybe even a literal roadmap
In a lot.
encoded within this word search.
It's very overwhelming.
It is overwhelming.
Yeah. Do any historical treasure hunts come to mind?
Yeah, are there any parallels?
When you see this level of complexity,
Yeah.
there are definitely some parallels. The Forrest Fenn Treasure hunt, for example,
Oh, yeah.
captivated people for years.
Years.
With its cryptic poem filled with layered clues, and the Beale ciphers, though still unsolved,
Right.
are famous for their intricate codes.
And the promise of riches.
And the promise of riches, yeah. Both of those hunts involved a lot of misdirection and speculation. Are we at risk of falling into the same traps with the past and future box?
I mean, is Collins Black messing with us?
I mean, it's possible. We always have to be aware of that risk. And Collins Black has said that he enjoys incorporating red herrings into his puzzles.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which means we need to stay vigilant,
Right.
This is where that confirmation bias we talked about earlier can be really dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to get attached to evidence that seems to confirm our theories, even if it's, flimsy.
Right, even if it's not real.
Or just coincidental.
Okay, so how do we avoid those traps?
Yeah, how do we not fall into them?
How do we approach this strategically?
Right.
Given all these potential layers and this potential for misdirection.
That's the question, isn't it?
It is.
Well, I would suggest focusing on connections
Okay.
between different elements. So don't treat the state abbreviations, binary clues, Pac-Man paths as totally separate puzzles.
Okay, so bring it all together.
Yeah, bring it all together. Look for points of convergence,
Mm-hmm.
clues that, reinforce or contradict each other.
So if we say a pattern with the state abbreviations, for example,
Yeah.
we should look for evidence within the binary clues or the Pac-Man paths that either supports that or refutes it.
Exactly. Think of it as triangulation.
Okay.
The more point of reference we have,
Mm-hmm.
the better we can determine whether we're on the right track or, just chasing a red herring.
Okay, so it's about building a case
Exactly. Build your case.
based on evidence.
Yeah, multiple lines of evidence.
Like being a detective.
It is like being a detective. Yeah, you're sifting through clues,
Sifting through the clues.
trying to solve a mystery.
Trying to unravel this big mystery. Are there any other tips you would offer our listeners?
Oh, sure.
Who are trying to crack this code?
Yeah,
Yeah, what else can they do?
absolutely. I would encourage them to pay close attention to the chapter theme itself.
Okay.
Collins Black often embeds solutions within the broader context of the chapter.
So the theme of the Past and Future Box chapter
Right.
could actually hold clues.
It could, yeah. Think about the title itself, Past and Future.
Right.
Is there a way to apply those concepts to the puzzle? Could there be a temporal element that we're missing?
A time element.
A time element, exactly.
Wow, that adds a whole new dimension to the search.
It does, doesn't it?
It's not just about deciphering codes.
Right.
Or following maps, but understanding the theme.
The themes, yeah, the symbolism at play.
The symbolism.
Exactly. Remember, Collins Black's puzzles are often about more than just finding the treasure.
Right.
They're about the journey,
Yeah.
the journey of discovery, challenging our perceptions,
Mm-hmm.
pushing us to think outside the box.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
From analyzing all the listener theories,
Yeah.
exploring different puzzle elements, to understanding the role of our own biases
Right, our biases.
in treasure hunting.
Yeah.
But we're not done yet.
There's more.
After a short break, we'll be back to delve into the connection between those state abbreviations and the historical figures mentioned in the book.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Could that be the key to finally unlocking the Past and Future Box? Stay tuned. All right, we're back and ready to tackle the next layer of this puzzle.
Okay, great.
Before the break, you were suggesting that we dig into the historical and cultural context of those state abbreviations.
Right.
TN, NC, SE, MA, CA, NV.
Yeah.
Could there be a connection between those states and the historical figures or events that are mentioned in the Past and Future Box chapter?
It's certainly a compelling avenue to explore. Collins Black is known for his attention to detail and his, I guess his love for weaving those historical threats into his puzzles.
Right.
So it's definitely worth considering.
Okay, so for instance, the chapter mentions Henry David Thoreau,
Okay.
who famously lived at Walden Pond in Massachusetts.
Right, Walden Pond.
Could maybe leading us to a Thoreau-related clue?
It's possible. I think we need to consider Not just the location,
right,
but also the ideas that Thoreau explored in his writing.
Okay, so like the themes.
The themes, yeah. Could any of those themes or concepts be applied to the word search itself?
Right, okay. And then there's California.
California, okay.
Which is mentioned in connection to a Picasso exhibition.
Oh, interesting.
Could there be a clue hidden within, like, the details of that exhibition?
Possibly.
Like something about the specific artwork.
Yeah, or the location of the exhibition.
Right, the location.
I think, again, we need to consider both the literal and the symbolic.
Right.
Collins Black, he often operates on multiple levels.
Mm-hmm.
So a Picasso exhibition might not just be about California.
Okay.
It could be about the artistic process itself, the concept of perspective, or even the interplay of like past and future influences in art.
So we're looking for a bridge between the concrete, like the place, the geographic location that the state abbreviation represents.
Right.
And the abstract, like the idea.
The ideas, yeah.
The themes associated with that location.
Yeah, or a historical figure connected to it.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me.
Oh, yeah, why?
Because it requires us to kind of think like the puzzle creator.
Right.
We have to get into his head.
You got to get in his head, understand his influences, and anticipate his moves.
Yes, exactly.
That's why I think it's so important to be familiar with his previous puzzles.
Right.
He often revisits certain themes or techniques, so if you can recognize those patterns,
right,
that can give you a real advantage in solving this word search.
Like, for example, that Ready Player One theme.
Oh, yeah, Ready Player One.
Of virtual and physical reality that's woven throughout the book.
Yeah. It is.
Could that be influencing how we should interpret these state abbreviations?
It's possible.
Maybe they're not just places.
Right.
But gateways to, like, virtual spaces.
Oh, like online platforms or something?
Yeah, or online platforms that have additional clues.
It's an intriguing possibility.
It really is.
Remember, Collins Black, he wants us to think outside the box, challenge our assumptions about what a treasure hunt can be.
Right.
He might be blurring the lines between the physical and the digital world, urging us to explore both realms.
It's like a whole new level. This has been an incredible deep dive.
It has been really fun.
You've given our listeners so much to think about.
Well, I hope so.
Really invaluable insights.
I enjoyed it.
Into the world of code breaking, puzzle design.
It's fascinating stuff.
And those cognitive biases that we need to be aware of.
Right, absolutely. Always be aware of those biases.
When we're tackling a challenge like this, before we wrap up, do you have any final words of advice for our listeners who are, well, working hard to try to crack this code?
Sure, stay curious, stay persistent, and don't be afraid to, collaborate with others. Sometimes the best solutions come from, the collective wisdom of the crowd.
Yeah, two heads are better than one.
Exactly.
And maybe the real treasure might not be the physical chest itself.
Right.
But the journey of unraveling this whole intricate puzzle.
I agree. The intellectual stimulation, the thrill of discovery, the sense of accomplishment.
Yes.
Those are treasures in themselves.
Well said. And to all of our listeners out there, we want to hear from you.
Yeah, let us know what you're thinking.
What connections have you made? How are you approaching those state abbreviations? Share your theories.
Yeah, your insights.
Your breakthroughs on our website.
Let's crack this code together.
As you said, collaboration is key.
It is.
We might just crack this code together.
We can do it.
Until next time, happy hunting.
Happy hunting, everyone.
Well, folks, we hope you found today's video interesting and informative. Make sure to hit the like button if you did. Also, think about sharing it with another treasure hunter. And if you're not already a subscriber, please take a moment to do so now. We look forward to seeing you next time. Take care, and remember, there's a treasure out there waiting for you to find it.